Ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto is a shrewd politician. And William Ruto is dangerous and ruthless politician. And the day Rigathi Gachagua will decide to write a book about his political journey, William Ruto's ruthlessness will occupy a bigger space in that book. Yesterday, senators impeached Rigathi Gachagua. And today, members of parliament are holding a special sitting, probably to discuss the new nominee for the office of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. That only confirms the ruthlessness of William Ruto. And after the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, the question which Kenyans are now asking is one: who is going to take over from Rigathi Gachagua? According to my sources, three names were narrowed down: Professor Kithure Kindiki, Kimani Ichung'wah, and Musalia Mudavadi. Of course, other names were there. Names like that of Gladys Wanga, and of course, the Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru, who are being pushed by fellow women. But based on my own analysis, William Ruto is going to pick Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki to replace Rigathi Gachagua. In this video, I want to explain to you guys why I strongly believe that William Ruto is going to pick Professor Kithure Kindiki. Things might change, but I want to believe that he's likely to pick Professor Kithure Kindiki to replace Rigathi Gachagua. But before we get into all those details, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, allow me to also thank the following people. You are seeing their names on the screen there for the coffee which they sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting this channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, why do I strongly believe that William Ruto is definitely going to pick Professor Kithure Kindiki to replace Rigathi Gachagua? Of course, William Ruto can pick any other person. But I have a strong feeling that Professor Kithure Kindiki makes the top of the list. Why? Number one is Mount Kenya politics. And I want to break Mount Kenya politics into three parts. During the last election, there was UDA party, which was branded as a Kikuyu-based political party, owned by the Kikuyus. Because remember, there was Jubilee. So William Ruto supported Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013-2017. In return, Kikuyus were to support him for the presidency, and then he was supposed to reward the Kikuyu nation with the deputy presidency. That happened. And that's why when William Ruto was picking his running mate, the choices narrowed down to two individuals: Kindiki and Rigathi. So to continue with that, he's going to pick Kindiki as the person who was number two after Rigathi Gachagua during the last pick. In fact, during that time, majority of members of parliament from the mountain were for Professor Kithure Kindiki. But William Ruto knew the weaknesses of Kindiki, and he also knew the strength of Rigathi Gachagua. He wanted someone who would deal with Uhuru Kenyatta. And because politics is about interest, those interests of Uhuru Kenyatta are no longer there. So I strongly believe that to continue with that promise to the Kikuyu nation, so that he doesn't appear as if he's a betrayer, is going to pick Professor Kithure Kindiki. That's A. Number two, number B, if you ask me, I also think that William Ruto would want to retain the position of the deputy president in the mountain. Because if you were to give it to, say, Mudavadi, that will be out of the mountain. Gladys Wanga, out of the mountain. Some people also suggesting Raila Odinga or Kasudi. I don't think Raila Odinga would take up that position. But Ruto wants to retain that position in the mountain. Kindiki comes from the mountain. And because Kindiki comes from the mountain, it also helps William Ruto to solve another problem, which is my C point or third point on Mount Kenya. Mount Kenya politics, internal politics. There is always the politics of Mount Kenya East and West. And Moses Kuri also posted something which suggests that they'd want someone from those regions as Kikuyus. So the thing is, Mount Kenya West, which is the Kikuyus, have held the presidency, deputy presidency. Right now, they are drifting away from William Ruto already. The Kikuyu nation is gone completely from William Ruto. So how can William Ruto retain some chunk of the mountain? He can only do what is called divide and rule. Split Mount Kenya into East and West. That's why someone like Mpuri Aburi were yesterday excited. Yeah, so Mount Kenya East will be given the position through Tharaka. Then they can consolidate that side so that it will be easier for William Ruto to focus on Meru, Embu, Tharaka moving forward. And of course, Kindiki will also have some of his support with the help of people like Kimani Ichung'wah. So Mount Kenya politics is going to force William Ruto to appoint Kindiki. Number two, I'm also looking at 2027 politics. In fact, Ahmed Nasser Abdullahi also alluded to it, that William Ruto has two options: to either pick a running mate from ODM stronghold, which is the Luhya Nation or the Luo Nation, or to pick someone from the mountain. And that one, someone from the mountain, will only serve for 3 years. I'm also thinking towards those lines, that William Ruto has realized that 2027 is going to be a bit difficult for him to win the support of the mountain. And remember, the mountain gave William Ruto the highest number of votes in 2022, sorry. So how can William Ruto recover for the loss from the mountain? It means he will have to change a running mate. And I'm looking at Musalia Mudavadi as that running mate. So we want to have Musalia Mudavadi as his running mate in 2027. Why Kindiki and not Rigathi? Rigathi was ambitious. Rigathi was not going to allow William Ruto to just remove him easily towards the election time. So William Ruto realized that. So he had to remove him early enough. To give him room to deal with him. Because Rigathi might not have power, will not have power. I don't know how courageous he will be. He will be dragged through court. His money will be frozen. So he will be grounded a bit. So it will be very difficult. Even people associating with him will be a problem. But now, if you have Kindiki as the deputy president now, I think it will be easy for William Ruto. In my view, it will be very easy for William Ruto to replace Kindiki. Kindiki will be told, 2027, we are having someone else as the deputy president. He will not make noise. He's a gentleman. He will just the way he did last time, make a bit of faces here and there. He will go. And that's why even the position of the interior is going to be taken away. Because that's a very powerful position. It's more powerful than even the deputy president, in my view. She's being persuaded to be given the deputy president. They're going to take that. So that we will not have the instruments needed to consolidate power. Because I'd expected that after this experience, Kindiki would tell Ruto, okay, appoint me the deputy president if you want, but ensure I go with a docket. And the docket I want is the one which I currently have, the interior. Then you can use that now to consolidate the base. So that's number 2. Number 3 is the soft side of Professor Kithure Kindiki. You know, most people have always asked Ruto why he picked Rigathi Gachagua. The thing is, during those times, the dynamics of politics were a bit different. William Ruto needed someone to deal with Uhuru, not just deal with him, to be ruthless with Uhuru Kenyatta. His immediate focus at that time was to destroy Uhuru Kenyatta, which has been done. But Rigathi Gachagua is bold, Rigathi Gachagua is ruthless, and is also aggressive. Ruto is not comfortable with Rigathi Gachagua as a deputy president. That's why Rigathi Gachagua decided to go to the mountain to consolidate. By the time William Ruto realized Rigathi had the mountain. If he was allowed to continue serving as a DP, probably he would focus on other areas also. Something which, for me, is wise for Ruto to go for someone who now has totally contrasting qualities of Rigathi. Soft, acceptable, Kindiki. Number 4, in my view, is acceptability. One of the grounds Rigathi Gachagua was being impeached on is that he was making some statements about shareholding. He was pushing for Kikuyu agenda. Rigathi Gachagua has been fired as a deputy president. I don't remember any single day Rigathi Gachagua organized a meeting in his office of, say, even leaders from Nyanza, even leaders from Western Kenya. I can't remember. When Ruto was the deputy president, he would organize such events, such meetings. So Rigathi Gachagua became very popular in the mountain, but very, very unpopular outside the mountain. That is something which most Kenyans should actually understand. In fact, sometimes I wonder why people are blaming Raila Odinga that he has helped Ruto to kick out Rigathi Gachagua. What is politics? That is the game of politics. Raila would have become the president if Rigathi Gachagua had not destroyed Martha Karua, had not destroyed Raila Odinga, had not destroyed Uhuru Kenyatta in the mountain. So how do you expect Raila Odinga not to revenge? In fact, if Raila Odinga were to get a chance today of removing Ruto, today, he would still do the same. Because that's politics. But in short, Rigathi made himself appear as if he's a Mount Kenya leader, not a Kenyan leader. So he was not acceptable. Now, Professor Kithure Kindiki is being brought on board. And at a time, is being brought on board at a time when Rigathi Gachagua was being accused of advancing exclusivity. The day Kindiki will be sworn in, if you ask me, is going to focus on trying to build a national image. Because that's exactly what William Ruto wants to do in the next election. He wants to campaign as a national leader. He wants all the regions to support him. And lastly, Rigathi Gachagua had presidential ambitions, which means he was scheming. Ruto dealt with Uhuru. By the time William Ruto was appointed the deputy president, he knew he wanted to become the president in 2022. So he started campaigning and plotting moving forward. So that's a game he played. Rigathi Gachagua is also keen on the presidency. So when he was appointed the deputy president, he started plotting how to become the president in future. In fact, one of the accusations is that Rigathi wanted to overthrow William Ruto, which for me, I don't think is true. But of course, in politics, you can't also rule out anything. Kindiki doesn't have a presidential ambition. I don't think. Maybe we'll develop them in the future. Which means for now, his primary focus is going to be service delivery. It's going to be serving William Ruto. It's going to be making Kenya Kwanza appear as if they are a serious political party. And of course, lastly, I think William Ruto is also keen on someone who is going to help in rebranding the image of UDA and Kenya Kwanza. You know, we have Mudavadi, a cool guy there. We had Rigathi, rough and aggressive. Ruto, rough and aggressive. So we are now going to have Ruto, rough and aggressive. Kindiki, cool. Mudavadi, a gentleman. So the image of Kenya Kwanza, the image is going to change a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. And by the way, what next for Rigathi Gachagua after the impeachment? What do you think he's likely to do after the impeachment? We'll come back with that analysis later, because right now maneno ni mengi, masaa ndio machache. Bye bye.